Hello everyone, this is Jimmy Singh, broker, owner with Supermax Realty. Welcome to my channel Real Estate Edge with Jimmy Singh. In today's video, I like to discuss about Greater Toronto Area housing market, especially new build homes. I will share some stats, data in my video and also share what are the undercurrents, what are the headwinds, what is causing this situation where we have lot of supply and then we have less people buying, though house prices have come down substantially from the peak. Interest rates are close to historical lows. There's plenty of supply but very less demand. And some economists are saying that GTA housing is under crisis, especially new build homes. So are we in 2026 overbuilding or oversupplying GTA or Greater Toronto Area market? See, the Ontario government set up a goal for itself of building 1.5 million new homes between 2021 and 2031. And the closest province to building sufficient homes to meet their goal at any year till the end of 2025 was under 90,000 houses. So people in our industry, building associations, realtors, and all people already knew 1.5 million goal was impossible to achieve in 10 years. Given the historical data, that many houses were never built in the history. And major problem was immigration policies. I was checking some stats online. They said Canada's population through first 3 quarters of 2025 grew by only 1,068 people. And that's shocking. And they're showing net immigration, how many people were coming. So first quarter, we had plus 30,000 people. In second quarter of 2025, we have 40,000 people. And in third quarter, we have net loss of 78,000 people. And that is a stat. And they said that is the lowest outflow for non-immigrant people in Canada since 1971. So if you see on your screen, I will share a stat again from Stats Canada. And they said total immigration has gone from 1.3 million newcomers in 2024 to 480,000 immigrants in 2025. And it is projected to be very low for next 3 years. So in the graph, you can see the bar graph. In 2022, we especially in Ontario, our population grew 200,000 plus people coming to Ontario. In 2023, we have an influx of 400,000 plus people. In 2024, we have 500,000 plus people coming. If you see 2025, it declined to 150,000 people. And now if you see 2026, which is this year, all the way to 2030, average population growth is expected to be 87,000 people. But if I only talk about 2026, this is the projection from the government. They said we can expect this year growth of close to 50,000 people in Ontario. And now if you check the other graph, which is the population growth specifically for Greater Toronto Area, which currently has a population close to 7 million. They said in 2024, Greater Toronto Area population grew by 283,000 people. It declined in 2025 and net decline is expected as per Stats Canada and the local government to continue through 2028. And this data is being shared by Altus Group, which do a lot of due diligence, and this data is shared among all the developers across Ontario. And if you see, especially 2026, Ontario provincial government population projection, they are indicating we will have a net growth of minus 33%. So after 2030, you can see this uptick of population growth. But this year in 2026, Ontario provincial government is projecting a net population growth of minus 33%. And another graph I'm sure you have seen in different medias, as you can see on the screen, average GTA resale price is down 25% on average from the peak for all the property types from February of 2022. So what are the main challenges or what are the main headwinds for our Greater Toronto Area sales? What is causing all these problems? So I'll share some thoughts. Let's focus on new construction. So cost of new construction have not declined in tandem with the sale price, because when you build a new house as a developer, you have to pay development charges, levies, fees. Cities have land transfer tax. Toronto, the land transfer tax is double as compared to other municipalities or cities. So basically, if you're buying average family home, you're looking like 40,000-50,000 only in land transfer tax. That adds lot of cost to upgrading your house, and they remain very, very high. So constant new construction projects, they also failing. You must have heard some news in media over the last couple of years. Lot of builders, went bankrupt. They can't close on those projects, and they have difficulty in selling, current standing inventory or these units. And the challenge with the developers are they are reluctant to drop the prices to make any meaningful profit. They work for money, and if they can't make profit, they won't build more properties. However, if you see even newer condos which are closed in last 1 year or 2 years, those people are priced lower as compared to new build. That is putting extra pressure, making the pricing strategy very difficult for the builders. And developers are unable to build housing at the price which the purchasers are willing to pay them. And condo sales last year, they were down 60% year over year. If you see 10-year historical average, it is probably down 80%. So here is the data. For GTA, condo new sales from 2015, as you can see on your screen, from 2015 to 2022, the average new construction condos, we were selling 20,000 to 30,000 at the peak. And this if you see the pie chart, 2017 was excellent year for condo sales, more than 30,000. 2021 was another peak. But all in all, the sales for new condos in GTA were hovering around 20 to 30,000. And last year, till August of 2025, we had only 2,321 sales. And detached homes, new sales, again, if you study the chart here on your screen, the bar chart, between the years 2015 to 2022, we were selling between 10,000 to 20,000 annually new detached homes. Last year from January till August, we had only 3,339. So if I see year over year as compared to 24 versus 25, detached home sales are down 48%, condo sales are 62%, and another thing that is impacting sales is importance of feasibility of projects because of local mom and pop investors. During the peak market, we had the data to prove that 50 to 80% pre-construction condos and homes were sold to investors, local people who were buying either to flip, assign, or to make quick money. There's nothing wrong with it except until when the overnight policy in regards to immigration change, government introduced flipping tax, foreign buyer ban, interest suddenly increased to 40-year high, and then some people feel issues in regards to landlord tenant problems, and then the decline in prices. So these all impacted, and as you can see in my previous graph, that all the growth which is supposed to happen in the next 8 to 10 years happened in a small window of 2 years. Prices grew 20, 30, 35, 40% in certain pockets, and now over the course of last 4 years, that froth or exuberance is coming out of the market slowly and steadily. And if I talk about project feasibility, because for a developer or a builder to make the units or high-rise buildings, they need to have 80% pre-sales for the bank to give them money so they can start construction. So a lot of projects have failed after launch in last 3 years in around GTA because they can't reach that 80% threshold. There was news, some projects in Toronto, they didn't even hit 10% sales, even with best of their offers, an incentive by the builders in last 2 years. So if I talk about consumer sentiment, especially investor sentiment that drove the prices to the moon, investor enthusiasm is curbed for now because property values were down and they were not buying for cash flow, they were purely buying for flipping and appreciation. Right now, the people who hold these units, especially condos, they are losing $500, $1,000, $1,500 depending on the size on their rentals. And many of these projects, they are in trouble. People are abandoning deposits. Owners simply are not able to raise money because people were refinancing their properties, their primary residence, and putting down payment towards the condo. And since their own primary houses are down, they can't afford to buy and close these units. And appraisals, they are also coming short and hampering the closings. And in many cases, I have noticed the new build condos in the buildings are competing with the resales in the same area. So if the builder wants $1,400, $1,200, $1,500 per square feet, you can buy $100 to $150 cheaper, in some cases even more, within the same vicinity, other finished product, which is less than 5-year-old. So savvy investors, they're sitting on sidelines waiting for further price decline. That is my thought. And another thing is the building industry, their association said 30% cost of newer condos is taxes, which they pay to municipality, provincial and federal taxes. And right now the other challenge is most end users, they are left with very limited options because during frenzy of condo market, the peak from 2014, 15, 17 all the way to 2022, 2021, end users are not in the game because investors were grabbing 60-70% of the building and they were buying 500 square feet or smaller units, and builders were making most of the units small and not first time buyer family friendly units, which have to have minimum of 800 square feet or 750, 100 square feet for raise their family. In my opinion, 800 is bare minimum space you need to raise a family. And as per some studies put forward by economists or big associations, they're saying it might take up to 20, 30 to absorb all these units and the prices to see any meaningful growth. So only shortage I see in Greater Toronto area sitting in January of 2026 is below priced support housing units. There's some families struggling, they can't afford to pay $2,600-$2,700 rent for one bedroom. So yes, we need to help people who are struggling. So the only product missing is for the families who are struggling to make those support housing. But purpose-built buildings, since the condo market is slow, so a lot of developers went into the mode of building purpose-built rentals. So if you drive in any city in Toronto, you drive in Kitchener, you drive in London, you see lot of condo towers or apartments were finished in last 2 years. And I have noticed in past 6 months, lot of those rentals, they are on MLS, or those builders are taking big billboards around the city and giving big incentives to the tenants. Some are offering a couple of months free, some are giving some gifts. So that market is again competing with end user condo owners or housing owners. So that is my thought as far as new construction. So looking ahead, next 5 years, if the situation remains the same, I expect condo market to further deteriorate as far as single family detached homes, because builders can't decrease their cost, they can't decrease their labor. And if they make less of these housing, which obviously I showed you in this video, that on the peak we were making between 20 to 30,000 pre-construction condos. Now last year we just made till August only 23, 21 sales. And for new homes, we were selling 10 to 20,000 detached homes. And last year we just sold 3,339 till August. So moving forward, in next 4, 5, 6 years, you will see a shortfall of detached properties, townhouses again. And that time I see substantial price increase again. That is my thoughts. What do you feel how 2026 new construction market will fare in Greater Toronto area? Will the prices go up? Will the supply keep growing? Leave your comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.